Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel with Antigonus Gaming. We are going to be looking at the Metaphor Refantazio demo. This will be our first venture outside of the world of Final Fantasy VII on the channel. So we're going to open up with a scene here.
I trust this will suffice.
God smiles upon the generous.
So we have a guy who pays a seemingly rich official.
Back to your cesspit, beggar!
And then like a rich person kicks like a poor person down. We see it's a very medieval, it's an anime style art. And then we see a young guy with
grotesque as its
long blonde hair and horns.
You dreamt of utopia.
In like a white,
you saw the tribes united as one.
And gold outfit. And there's like an old man laying in the
that dream died long ago.
bed.
You should have done the same.
And this guy in the white and gold military uniform stabs the old man in his
Your
bed.
kingdom will perish alongside you.
He's coughing up blood. His eyes close a little bit, and his body becomes lifeless.
By
Blood
my hand.
on his face a little bit.
I cannot fathom it. His Majesty killed in his own bed.
Got all these different nobles
the prince's
talking.
grave had yet to wilt. Without an heir to wear the crown, what will become of the royal magic?
Thus vulnerable, an invasion might undo us.
From within or without, the state hangs on a precipice. It may even come to civil war.
In dark times, we must stand together.
Elderly
Your
guy,
Eminence.
long hair,
do this?
mustache. He's got like tattoos
Few
on his
could
face.
even enter the king's chambers, let alone draw close. And yet,
Wearing
And yet, His Majesty's arcane power could deflect near any blade. With all the royal bloodline's magic, who could harm him at all?
Shadows stir in the castle just as they did with the prince. What hellbound soul could end a royal life? Who would dare such atrocity? Huh?
Luis. A shame to die with no heirs. The prince was taken too soon.
This is the
And only a
blonde-haired
king
guy
may wield the royal scepter.
stabbed the king.
The very crux of his vaunted bloodline's magic, which made such a fine deterrent to war. One has to ask, them dead, who shall take the throne?
Got a determined, ambitious, evil look on his face.
Here begins the demo prologue of Metaphor Refantazio. What we have to offer you is but a taste of the story from its beginning, but through it, your experience will mirror the full version. Should you wish it, you may carry over your save data to the full version. We thank you for expressing your curiosity about our tale of fantasy.
All right. So, Metaphor Refantazio demo. So, we'll be playing the demo here. This encompasses about 5 to 7 hours of content. It's basically just like a free access to the very beginning of the game, and they want you to play it, enjoy it, and, you know, and then like it enough to buy the original game. Just for a little context on what this game is, it's made by Atlus. Atlus is mostly famous for the Megami Tensei franchises. The most famous one being the Persona franchise, but you've got the original Shin Megami Tensei franchise, which goes back for decades as well. And then you've got other spin-offs like Soul Hackers, Devil Survivor, and the like that have appeared at various times. I've played a number of these games, and they're awesome. Oh, hey, guess what? It's going to send us back through the assassination scene again, isn't it? So we'll be playing the demo, and I intend on buying the game, so I'll be playing this, after I've finished my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough, but we're gonna change it up and add this to the channel as well for now, because it'll only take me a few days to, complete this. I already completed it once, myself, off stream, so, I know how long it is, and so we're gonna start it out. So if you're into Atlus or Shin Megami Tensei at all or whatever, this game is like a 35th anniversary of the company game. It's made by the Persona team, so it has a lot of Persona elements, but it also borrows other stuff from the other franchises and then has a lot of lore of its own. It is not a high school based game like Persona is, but it has a lot of the same gameplay loop. All right. The first thing we see is like a kind of an image out of a book.
I can feel you watching me from a place beyond my
silhouettes
sight.
of people
Whoever
walking
you
through
are,
a big modern
please
city that
tell
we
me.
would recognize.
Does our world pique your interest? Pardon my curiosity, but would you tell me your name? That is to say, tell me who you really are. The one who meets my eyes across a strange threshold.
So I'm gonna use the name Alexander because this channel is named after an ancient Greek dude. So let's go with Alexander for Alexander the Great. Why not? So. Alright, come on. The demo's a little slow. Alright, so this is what your name is indeed. You will name the protagonist later, so I'll hit yes.
Ah, a most unusual name. One I've never heard in our world. Which suggests to me you might reside in a world beyond ours. It is a curious thing that in your eyes, my entire world is but the dawn of a story yet untold. Or to put it another way, this is a fantasy. But can it truly be dismissed as something so far removed from you? If indeed you wish to cross to our world for a time, I would first ask that you indulge one question. Is fantasy limited to the confines of imagination? Would you call it a powerless creation?
I'm going to say no. I would not always call it powerless because I think fantasy can inspire us to do things in reality, and both for good and for bad. And because of this, that means it's not a confined to imagination because it inspires things that happen in reality. So I'm going to say not always.
More than wishful thinking, more than fiction. Something capable of affecting the realities beyond its bounds. This must be what you believe. I confess, my own answer still eludes me. But consider, if fantasy is born from hope, a desire to make the world better than it is, then that hope can be made manifest. Thus does change come, and thus is fantasy forged into a new reality. Perhaps the story about to unfold before you will tell us. I'm thoroughly invested now myself, so let this tale begin.
So we're going to play on easy mode. The other difficulties are storyteller, which is the one that basically makes it so, like, battles are, not a threat at all, and you can pretty much easily clear everything on your first try with no effort. It says battles pose no threat of death. Easy is easy, normal is normal, hard is hard, and then the hardest battle is the regicide difficulty. And it says a high risk, high reward mode for only battle hardened players. I'm gonna go on easy. This game is about a race to become the new king, so that's why they got the regicide thing going as the hardest difficulty. So it says start the journey. I say yes. So remember, this is like an anime style kind of. So we got a bunch of people in the back of a covered wagon. One
Looks
guy
like we're in the clear.
has blue hair.
The capital's just through this desert.
Fairy is talking to
Is
him
it true then?
in his bag.
The king is dead.
We've got some regular
Aye, and the guards are
NPCs
more concerned with
talking.
the funeral than keeping the roads safe. So now the monsters are roaming in broad daylight. No soldiers to stop them.
Across from him is
Monsters,
a
huh?
elf with
I've certainly been hearing the
long
stories.
red hair.
To say nothing of the vacant
She's
throne.
got a black cloak
There's a
over
storm
her
coming.
outfit.
Mark my words.
The main
That
character
much
has
is
two different
certain.
color eyes.
What's the problem?
That's the fairy.
They're bandits!
Got some bandits on top of like a ship
Come on, let's see some respect for
that
the
has like a
militia.
device that can walk along land to hold it up in the air.
No crown or church will save us.
But Lord Luis will save us one and all. All we ask is a little tribute. You're with us or against us? And if you're against us...
One of the bandits holds up like a staff and starts shooting fire at the wagon we're on.
An igniter? Ugh. How'd they get rid of those?
The lady with the long red hair staring at the bandits intently.
That's right.
Bandits are taking the money. One of them has brown hair and a
Look at
beard.
you.
One of them has
What have we
purple
got
hair.
here?
One of them has green
He's an
hair.
elder. So he is. No horns, no knife is. Filthy gremlin like you. What you got in the capital? Oh, what's this? Looks like you've been holding out on us, boy.
And the main character's holding a book that's black and gold. And he's holding on to it like for dear life. He doesn't want to give it up.
Hold it!
The bandit with green hair. These guys are all just dressed like thugs, basically.
Should have listened to us, chum.
You know, they've got
Now fall in
a
line.
jacket that's showing off their muscles. And the elf lady with the long hair stabs through one of the bandits. He collapses dead.
Steal. I take it you are prepared to die by it.
Stand aside!
Bandit that was trying to steal the book kicks our character, and he falls back. And they were on a cliff overlooking a desert, so he just falls off, and he now is out of this fight. So we wake up.
Aw,
We're in a
this
desert.
place already feels like a death trap.
The fairy is
You hear all that
talking
stuff
to
about
us.
Lord Luis saving us? Hey, you okay?
She's got blue eyes,
Still got all
like a
your limbs
reddish
attached?
hair, not bright
Well,
red,
at
but
least they
like
didn't figure out
brownish
our
red.
mission.
A
Definitely
silver
could've got
headband.
worse.
Her ears are like triangular. She's got a blue, like a yellow and like teal dress. She's got two sets of fairy wings, and then her arms and legs and feet don't have anything on them. And she's extremely small, like probably only like 1 foot tall, but she can fly up at like head level with us. So we're gonna say, what mission?
What mission?
Come on. This is no time for jokes. You do know that if anyone finds out who we really are, it's all over, right? The mission's more important than either of our lives. If we screw this up, there's no going back.
So, alright, so to describe our main character, so this is the Trodia Desert. So our main character has
Think
short...
we'll make it?
You don't look hurt though, so that's good news. You can move right. That's Gallica. I'm thinking we should find a place where we can see the whole area. A vantage point. So use L to move around. You can press R2 to dash. Press circle to dodge enemy attacks. Some actions you perform corresponding controls are displayed at the bottom of the screen. You can use the mini-map to see which way to go. You can view tutorials you've seen before in the main menu.
Let's go.
Alright, so our main character has blue hair, and he also has like a headband. He's got one eye is blue and one eye is gold. His skin is like slightly tan, not super tan, but slightly tan. He's got a white kind of like coat that has buttons, 4 buttons on the top, and then it's like got kind of like a plaid kind of design. He's got brown gloves, kind of black pants, though the coat covers the top of the pants, so all we see are the pant legs. And then his boots are black, the boot part are black, and then the part of the boots that cover like his ankles are white. He's got a sword. He's got a bag, kind of like that reminds you of like a computer bag on his back. And that's all he's got. So we're gonna, and then we have Gallica with us, but she's flying alongside us. Seeing something close. Don't move. And we see like an ugly like sandworm monster.
Watch out!
Those look especially dangerous, so watch out. I don't think they've
New
noticed us yet.
notification. Dual sense wireless controller battery level is low.
So I'm gonna unplug my charger here to plug it into my controller so that it plugs in. Alright, face sight. Press L2 using face sight. This ability lets you see what Gallica sees and sense in the environment. When you see an enemy you've never confronted before, it'll show up as unknown. Prepare as best you can.
Okay.
So at this point, we're pretty weak. So the goal is to just run away from the monsters.
These ones aren't messing around.
So Gallica's telling us to run away. We run across the desert. There's a little mini map in the bottom left corner, and there's like a red and white. There's like a white marker that's blinking red that symbolizes where we're supposed to go. So, you know, and then we see, once we get up on the cliff, we can see the city of Gran Trad in the distance. There's like a huge, like V-shaped.
But you do remember what we're here to do.
Building that towers over the rest of the city. The city's surrounded by walls. The city itself has tall buildings, but the big V-shaped building is kind of like part of the huge palace complex. So let's see, refresh my memory what we're doing.
Right. What am I doing again?
Oh, I don't know. The mission that's more important than our own lives? First, we get to the royal capital and get you enlisted as a guardsman at the army's recruitment center. This could decide the fate of the whole country. We either do our jobs or we die. And if it's all the same to you, I'd rather stay alive. So we've got to see this mission through. Come on. We don't want the sun to go down on us in the wastes. Let's pull ourselves together and get back on the road. You know what they say. Anxiety breeds the world's cruelest monsters. I mean, fairies say that. I can at least cast my usual spell for you. It's the small comforts.
So Gallica casts a spell on us, and we start getting music. It's the snow music that's playing directly in my mind. The effect of Gallica's magic is
Music
inspiring.
was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier.
I don't think I've ever played a game before where they created an actual in-game lore reason for why music is always playing. So when I heard that and I played this the other day, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty funny, because I've never seen a game where the developers thought to explain why there's music constantly playing.
Over there.
That's the road, isn't it? So we're looking at like a kind of like a muddy dirt road. What a relief. Gran Trad is already in sight.
Let's go.
Almost there. Let's keep moving and try to stay out of sight. So we got to avoid all the monsters. Some of them are those worm things. Some of them are just like wild wolves. There's like bones and stuff.
I don't like this.
So we can...
Nice! I bet we'll find a use for that.
So we found an item. So we're running across the desert here. It's a very rocky desert, though the ground is kind of sand-like. And all of a sudden we see more of the worms pop out. We run.
This land of 8 tribes.
Now it's zoomed out, it's showing a map. We got a narrator talking.
The United Kingdom of Euchronia.
And it shows the Euchronia
The
flag.
year is 785. Euchronia is shaken to the core by the sudden death of its king. Anxiety breeds dissent among the tribes. Disparities tear them apart, and no mortal mind remembers the heroic tales upon which their land was built.
So we're walking alongside people that are coming to the capital.
May this faded world be painted anew.
We see it zoom out to show that most of the city here. We see the huge building. It says, "Oh, great seeker, bearer of fantasy and power." It's like in like another language, but there's a subtitle on the bottom. "Hear my wish and come forth from thy epoch of glory to grant me." It goes too quickly for me to read, unfortunately. So we come in through the main gate. We see all kind of different people. We see soldiers. They have silver helmets, like these weird crystal necklaces, and then like black cloaks that have like the military's logo on it. Then we see all sorts of rich people coming about because this is like the rich people neighborhood. Then we walk into the more impoverished neighborhood, and we see an execution is about to take place.
Get on with it, then! Drop the dog! Hang him dead!
And they're talking about a guy with dog ears.
Nothing wrong! Lying dog! Don't try to deny it! You trample the law for the fun of it!
The guy's being hung is dirty. He's in really, his clothes are not good shape. And he hangs and he dies. You got a crowd
There's no way
cheering.
that crowd was going to listen to anything a Parapus said.
Such a shame. Might you spare some coin?
So the Parapus are like the animal, the
Bless
dog-eared
you.
tribe. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of poor people are begging him for money. So Gallica says, "Get out of there."
Don't you have any street smarts? Come on, kid.
Gallica almost gets distracted by all the beautiful gems in a jewelry shop.
Gotta stay focused.
Right.
You noticed back on the wagon? You might be the only elder here, in the whole city even. The capital's incredible. Just look at all the different tribes. You never see this kind of diversity out in the countryside. Not that it's very balanced. I see more Clamars and Roussants than anyone else. Which means a dopey elder kid's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Try to keep your head down, okay?
Hey, did you hear what they're saying about His Majesty? They say it wasn't illness at all. I heard it was foul play, assassination.
Just regular citizens talking.
Careful who hears you say that.
One of them has
Just
pointy
like the
ears,
prince,
the other
isn't
one
it?
has the
They
horn,
say he
like
was
the horns
attacked
in the
in
hair.
dead of night. A war of
So-
succession is coming, I tell you.
Sounds like monsters have been prowling the countryside. They're sending the guard out to deal with them. The army's really gone to hell. It's a far cry from when we had Count Luis at the helm, I'll tell you that much.
Hard to see how the nation can come back from this.
We'd not have to ask if the prince was still alive.
Oh. And we see like a clock thing tick-tocking, and now we're in another
His
space.
son stricken. Are there none left to bear the weight of the crown?
We see the prince's body laying on a table with a cloth underneath, and there's like some thorny, dark rose-looking thing surrounding his body, and he's in a coma. We've got our main character and Gallica here on one side of the table, along with like a non-human-looking short creature that's says he's called the Little Old Scholar, and then there's like a really old woman in kind of like a ceremonial kind of, healer kind of dress, and she's like on like a platform that's floating in the air.
We've done all in our power.
Imposing
But
elderly
not even the
woman.
kingdom's best, the saint, could purify this affliction.
Over 10 years he has languished under this curse. How much longer can his body hold out? No doubt His Highness would protest. But since he cannot, we have no choice. For the man who cursed His Highness and murdered our king, there can be no mercy. I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes, you cannot fail.
So the thing is like super short and like white. It almost looks like it's kind of like some like take on a rabbit,
Hey,
but
you
it
listening?
doesn't exactly look like that. So now we're back to the present. So the rabbit-looking guy and the old lady are gone because we're not actually there. That was just a flashback.
Well, I guess I can't blame you for feeling nostalgic. You and the prince were pretty close. Anyway, getting to the capital was only the beginning. Now comes the real high-stakes part. You gotta go get enlisted so you can meet up with our operative. Remember, nobody here knows who we are. Nobody here knows the prince might still have a claim to the throne. That means if we get busted, that's it. Nobody's gonna save us. Step 1. Let's figure out where the recruitment center is. Shouldn't be too hard, considering the need for soldiers. So?
You know where we're going. Feel free to admit that you're lost and ask me for advice. Press R1 to open the local map. If you're unsure what to do, try pressing triangle. Gallica always has good ideas, or so she thinks. Press the up button in safe areas like towns to save your progress.
Whatever will I do?
Alright, so we walk along and we see a woman here, standing here. She's got long white hair that goes all the way down to like her past her waist. She's got tan skin. She's got like a coat over like a suit. She's wearing a suit, and she's got a coat that has like a fancy, shiny, like royal blue interior. She's wearing like high-heeled boots. So we're gonna talk to her, and she's known as the Shady Woman. She's got very, very dark tanned skin, and she's got like bright white hair and bright white eyeshadow. That contrasts with the... So she's not going to say anything. We're going to walk past here, and we see all these fancy things in the windows. So...
Look at that. The new model's out now.
So there's a bunch of different necklaces and like armbands, earrings too.
I could be out there slinging spells like a master if I had one of those.
I guess that's the big city for you. Everyone and their mother has a magic igniter. So many different types, too.
I'll say, now I want one. Oh, we'll ask what's a magic igniter.
What's a magic igniter?
See, there's a couple in the window. Like an instrument plays a tune, an igniter casts magic. Pretty hard to come by out in the countryside. Can't imagine what it's like having to wave around some shiny stick to use magic. Me? I can whip out magic anytime I like. And I can even see the magla in the air. Though, I'm not exactly an archmage.
Wonders never cease.
This is the woman we tried to talk to.
A fairy and an elden child. Are you new to our fair city? Well, I suggest you keep a low profile. Trust me when I say you don't want to catch the eyes of the lords and ladies. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I run this humble shop. Are you in the market for an igniter? Here's something that might catch a foreigner's eye. This is modeled after the royal scepter and would make the perfect souvenir.
Royal scepter, question mark.
The royal scepter?
You've really never heard of it. Wow. Where do I even start?
A symbol and instrument of the crown's sovereignty. Passed down through generations. If you believe the legends, it houses incredible magic. World-shattering power. More practically, you might call it the world's most potent magic igniter. And in the king's hands, it was enough of a deterrent to stave off invasion.
Now he's dead, with no living heir either.
Tragic, isn't it? Kingly magic is of little use without a king. You picked a bad time to visit, boy. I don't know why you're here, but there's trouble brewing.
Keep that in mind.
I'll keep that in mind.
A word of caution, then. Your survival is your own responsibility.
She walks
Well,
off.
that was unnecessarily ominous. She has a point, though. We'll need to be careful. Anyway, we don't have time to hang around chatting with the locals. We've got a recruitment office to find.
Let's head there.
Give it a fold, I say. Who else can it be?
So we continue on to the next part of the street, Gran Trad, Regolith Grand Cathedral. So we're in the area around the Grand Cathedral, which includes the structure with the giant V-shaped structure that towers over the rest of the city. I was hoping we'd blend in with the crowd. No one would notice that you're an Elda, but the people here have sharper eyes than I thought. We don't want to draw attention, but hiding your tribe is only going to make it worse. People may insult you, but do your best to stand tall. Easier said than done, I'm sure, but it's for the sake of the mission. And on that note, the recruitment center we're looking for should just be ahead. So we're walking through now. We've got guards that have golden, like a golden cloak like over one arm, black outfit with the white sun kind of looking logo for the army, and then silver helmets. We can't see their eyes. They're armed with pikes. It's just so the street around here has like street stalls. We see some of the different shop people. They're all different tribes. We see people with the animal ears. We see one tribe that looks like they wear a mask over their head at all times. We've got other people that have like the horns, and other people that have like the long elven kind of ears. We've got lots of carriages in the walkway. We see a larger like open air market. The buildings are all, 1, 2, 3. The buildings are all like somewhere in like the 7 to 10 story range, except for the cathedral, which looks like it's probably, hundreds of stories. And then we've got a recruitment center that looks like it's, like 10 stories tall or something like that. So we're gonna go into the recruitment center now. This will be the last thing we do. The game will prompt us to save after a couple more scenes, and then
I'll let you take it from here.
The first part of this demo.
It should be pretty straightforward. Oh, and if they start asking questions, just be as honest as you can. Lying will only make us more suspicious. So long as you don't compromise the mission, you're fine. Good luck in there. Knock 'em dead.
So we're gonna head into the recruitment center. So we walk in, lots of barrels and stuff. It's a military facility. We sit on a bench, and there's like a little
a blue blood,
walled off office.
The army's no place for velvet swaddled lordlings.
The guy.
Why are you here?
So we've got the captain of this guard unit is interviewing guy in front of us. He's got wavy blonde hair or straight blonde hair that has like a curl that comes down, like a hair tail that comes down over his forehead and between his eyes. He's got a mustache but no beard. He's very fat. He's got the igniter necklace around him, and he's wearing like a guard's captain's outfit. He's one of he's a Clomar, so that's the race of guys that have like the horns on the sides of their head. They have human-looking ears too. So the Clomar basically look like normal humans, except they also have horns on their head. Some of them have very big protruding horns. Other ones, they're just small little white-looking things along the side of their head. His are not that big.
Perhaps your noble family collapsed under its own weight. Is that it?
Lineage seems a strange measure for a soldier's worth.
Okay, this young nobleman, he's got blonde hair. He's one of the horned guys as well. He's got black horns that are a little bit larger than the captain. He's got like a brown overcoat, and we can see he's wearing like a white scarf that's hanging down. Can't really see it in his pants. Look like they're dark, like maybe black or dark blue. We can't really see his shirt from this angle though.
I'm looking to enlist. Is that enough for you or not?
An uppity one, aren't you? Fine, lordling. Welcome to the Guard, where it'll be your privilege to die screaming and bloody in service of your country. But mark my words, war will turn your arrogance to piss. When your corpse is plucked from the mud, do try to look patriotic.
Rousing words, Captain. You think threats will buy loyalty? No wonder nobody respects the Guard anymore.
He's got like a... Okay, now we can see his shirt. It's like a light... somewhere between like whitish, tannish color.
But I'm here now, so perhaps the kingdom isn't a lost cause.
Insolent pup! You will learn your place.
Don't. The healers have enough on their plates already.
This is another guy that's working with the captain. He's got red hair. Just a minor character, not really important. Wearing a guard uniform.
Be gone, and be thankful you're still in one piece.
So the captain's got armor on underneath, like his cloak.
All right, next. Hurry it up.
So.
An elder? I thought your kind was long gone. Age 18. An orphan, too. The army can always use more of those. So, what brings you to enlist?
So I'm going to say I want to fight for change.
I want to fight for real change.
Lofty words for a gutter rat with an empty coin purse, no? So, what can you bring to our beloved corps? Any skills to speak of?
I'll say I'm stronger than I look.
I'm stronger than I look.
With arms like that, you'd have to be.
The captain gives like a sarcastic look there at that
Make
comment.
your mark or sign your name if you're actually literate.
So he throws like a recruitment contract at us. So since this game is about trying to become king, I'm going to name my character Rex, which is the Latin word for king. So, yes.
You know your letters, do you? We'll get some use out of you yet. All right, lad. Welcome to the Guard.
Yes!
I'm sure you heard about the monster sighting, so stay sharp out there. We're short-handed as it is. Be a good lad and try not to get killed on your first deployment. You can pick up your kit at reception. Standard issue guardsman armor and igniter. Kingdom property. So if you break it, it's coming out of your commission. On your way now. Up to. Next.
Alright, so we're in. Now we're... What a long line. Guess we've no choice but to wait our turn. So we could talk to some people.
Whatever.
We can talk to the young nobleman. He's got a big great sword. So are you really a noble?
Well...
So I'm gonna join the line. It says join the queue. So it's June 2nd, now goes to evening from afternoon. So we finally get up to the counter to get the material, to get our equipment. Gossiping voice.
What? Of those huge monsters? You think that's why we're low on soldiers? Wish they'd have told us that.
A lot of guys with the animal ears here, you know, military is a good place for poor people to make a living, so. And the tribe with the animal ears is one of the poorest, you know, tribes in the kingdom. So.
Another Clamar. Wait. No. You don't look like the others. Surely not. An elder? It's the first of your kind I've seen.
Move it. There's a priority around here.
Sant man.
We're arming squires and children with igniters now. Waste of good gear.
So this is the tribe that has like the looks like has like the elf ears.
It's better off in my hands. Give it here.
Brute force, crude insults. The world is yours for the taking.
Care to say that again, boy?
We all have our reasons to enlist. Now get back in line.
Oh, another high and mighty Clamar, is it? You think your pretty words will measure up to pure Rousseau strength?
Oh,
Forget the tribes. This is a matter of pride. Now, you owe us both an apology.
Come on, no fighting in the ranks.
Sorry for making a scene. You all right?
I'm gonna say, thanks.
Thanks. You didn't have to do that.
Just felt like stepping in. Don't worry about it. Well, see you around. Try not to die out there.
Our friend walks off.
Don't make my job any harder, please. Here, your igniter.
So we got one cinder igniter.
These days, most come with their own magna crystals. So with practice, anyone can use magic. To an extent, anyway. It's not the sort of thing you can master in a day. For now, newbies like you best focus on surviving.
The thing around his neck is apparently a magic igniter. So it's like a necklace kind of collar that has like a crystal part of it. The captain I spoke with earlier had one too. They must take on many different forms, like the one I saw on Main Street. Oh.
And take this too. Protect it with your life.
He gives us a map, the quartermaster does. The Royal Capital Vicinity map.
Wow, that's a real map. It's dangerous to even chart the wilds, but this is full of details.
Listen up, striplings.
The captain again.
My name is Captain Klinger, and as of this moment, you miserable lot are under my command. I'm sure you've all heard about our forces being tied up with the funeral proceedings for His Majesty. But if you think you're on cushy security detail, think again. First, you will be deployed to a fortress at the northern border, where you will be trained into true guards. Our veterans there will teach you the one thing you need to master if you're to survive. Pain.
Perfect. That's exactly where our contacts hold up.
Enjoy tonight's sleep, because it's the last full night's rest you'll get. Dismissed!
Not exactly a inspiring leader. Yeah, Captain Klinger, the epitome of a wonderful,
really
inspiring
desperate for new
captain,
blood.
right? Yeah, not really. All right, so now we're in like a bedroom for the recruits. There's a few beds and stuff. There's a few recruits, other people in there with us. We're sitting on one of the beds.
Oh, right. I know you don't know what our contact looks like yet, but he'll know you by your sword. He'll also know right away why we've come. And don't worry, I'll recognize him. Well, the charming captain is probably right. We should get some rest before tomorrow.
So we're laying down. Gallica's sitting on like a box that has a candle right next to our bed.
Hey, you awake?
I'll say yes. And
Yeah,
the book that he was protecting in the opening scene is right next to him on the bed.
Sorry to bug you. Look, I just have a lot on my mind. Can't seem to fall asleep. I'd heard about what it was like in the capital, but still, when you hear and see all this prejudice out in the open, it's a lot. You okay?
I'm just gonna say it's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
Well, I don't think that should be how it is. Some people are even saying it's the lesser tribe's fault that the monsters are showing up at all. These are the same kind of people who burned down your village, remember?
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but still. The prince was kind to take you in. He cared more about who you were than what you were. I can see why you'd want to repay him. Oh, speaking of, he's the one who gave you that book, right? Can I see it?
I'll say sure.
Sure, I guess.
I gotta say, I've been curious. Thanks.
We open the book, and we see the picture of all the anonymous people walking through the big modern city that we would
It's what you
recognize.
call a fantasy story, right? So it's a fantasy world made up by the author. The prince loved those kinds of stories. Okay, let's see. It says the young traveler was amazed by the world he saw. In this world, there is only one tribe. All people accept each other, and no soul is born into discrimination. Wow. So not even any fairies? I guess less differences means less to argue over. In such a world, there is no need for sorcery. A megapolis is built through learning and labor. Towers of glass that reach the heavens. Safe nights with no dark shadows. Busy streets well traveled. And in the laws of these emotionally satisfied people, it reads, all lives are equal. Whoa. I see. No magic, no tribal conflict, and equality for all? It really does sound like a fantasy, but it's strange to feel envious of a fictional world. Hey, are you asleep already? You know how hard it is for me to turn these pages on my own? Well, guess I'll just read more later. Good night.
Alright, it says night goes to late night. So we're gonna save here, and that'll be it for this video. We'll do the next part of the demo in the next video, because it'll transition us towards the next phase where we're actually at that northern fortress soon. I think this is a good place to stop because the game is prompting us to save. So thank you so much for joining us in our first video with Metaphor, and we will be back with more Metaphor content in the future. And I will be getting the full game, so I will be playing the game this month. I don't know if I'll start it on October 11th when the game comes out, but I will be playing it before the end of the calendar year. So whenever I finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth again, that's still got a little bit of a ways to go because there's a couple more dungeons to get through, and some of those are quite long. Then I'll move on to this game. So thank you so much for joining us again. And if you are a fan of Atlus games, like and subscribe and whatnot, and I will also incorporate other Atlus games I own as I have the ability to put them on this channel. So again, thank you so much, and we will be back with more Metaphor in the future. So like, subscribe, comment, and have a wonderful day.